بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. Alhamdulillah, we are able to
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
We are able to have our reflections on Dua Makarim al-Akhlaq. Again, I thought for wave one, because Alhamdulillah we have already had a good number of sessions on Munyatul Murid, we continue with Dua Makarim al-Akhlaq, and for wave two we would continue with Inshallah Munyatul Murid. As you remember, the last time in Montreal we had 3 sessions, and 1 session we had it in Toronto. Alhamdulillah, all 4 sessions are now online, and now this would be our fifth session reflecting on Dua Makarim al-Akhlaq. What Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam requests from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this part is وَخَفْضِ الْجَنَاحِ وَحُسْنِ السِّيرَةِ وَسُكُونِ الرِّيحِ وطيب المخالقة والسبق إلى الفضيلة وإيثار التفضل وترك التعيير والإفضال على غير المستحق. خفض الجناح means humbleness, and we have in different sessions, in different lessons, talked about humbleness, especially in the course on ethics in Hose. We talked about humbleness. Also in self-development we had humbleness as one of the key virtues in Islamic ethics. So it's very important to be humble, like a humbleness that is coming from a loving character, خفض الجناح, like a hen that brings her wings low to look after her children, and without any arrogance. We need to be humble, and we need to be caring for each other. Humbleness puts us in a good condition to care for others. Arrogance leads to expecting care and service from others. We should be opposite. Of course, we can receive from each other help, but the main request of a believer is to help. If needed, he or she may receive help, but he or she is more willing to give help, to be humble, to care for others, to show love to others. So, خَفْضِ الْجَنَاحِ means to be humble. وَحُسْنِ السِّيرَةِ, good conduct. Our conduct, all in all, should be good. Sirah is the general conduct of a person. So if once or twice a day or a week I become good, is not enough. If with some people I'm always good and not with all people, again, this is not good. We have to be good all the time as a general characteristic, as a description of our entire conduct. We should be good. Husn al-sirah. So in speaking, in listening, in meeting, in visiting, in interactions, transaction, buying, selling, studying, teaching, going to office, everything should be good. Husn al-sirah. وَسُكُونَ الرِّيحِ, and to be free from pride and arrogance. So you should be very humble, and as some people have interpreted this, a kind of tolerance, sukun al-rih. So it can mean not to be arrogant, it can mean to be tolerant, or it can be both. So basically, a person who is accommodating others and is not harsh and proud, negative, of course, pride. وَطِيبَ الْمُخَالَقَةِ. Tib means pleasant. Pleasant or agreeableness in interaction. Mukhalaqa means dealing with people in interaction. So you see how much Imam alayhi salam in different ways is emphasizing on the necessity of a mu'min being approachable, kind, humble, nice, gentle. Mu'min cannot be harsh and hard-hearted and arrogant and shouting and aggressive. This is not akhlaq of mu'min. Mu'min is someone that almost everyone wants to be with him, sit with him, talk to him. If someone wants to take someone, for example, for a cup of tea or coffee so that he can relax, he would invite mu'min. I think it's a good test for us if we work with other people, Muslims and non-Muslims, but if they want to confine a secret to someone, if they want to relax by spending some time with someone, they would come to us. This is a good sign that they can find tranquility, peace, trust, tolerance in us. وَطِيبَ الْمُخَالَقَةِ وَالسَّبْقِ إِلَى الْفَضِيلَةِ. Not only to be virtuous, but also to proceed in being virtuous. So when it comes to achieving, growing, and exhibiting, and acting out of virtues, we should try to be the first. We should not let anyone to be better than us because of our, na'udhu billah, laziness or carelessness. This is a good competition, not a bad kind of competition. We should have a good competition in being the first. So when it comes to honesty, when it comes to generosity, when it comes to trustworthiness, when it comes to be kind, when it comes to be organized, to be planning things in advance, we should be the first and the best. وَالسَّبْقِ إِلَى الْفَضِيلَةِ. To proceed in having and showing and growing and exhibiting virtues. So to proceed with respect to virtues. وَإِيثَارِ التَّفَضُّلِ. And to prefer graciousness and favors than not doing anything or na'udhu billah harming people. My first preference should be tafaddul, to be gracious, to be generous, to have favor upon people. وَتَرْكَ التَّعْيِيرِ. And as much as possible to avoid blaming people and condemning people as much as possible. Sometimes we may need to wisely mention some of the problems that someone has with all the requirements of Amr al-Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. But this is different from a person who is always negative and critical and quick in condemnation. This is totally different. We should not deceive ourselves and say, I am doing Amr al-Ma'ruf, I'm doing Nahy al-Munkar, I am a frank person, I'm an honest person. No, this is not anything like that. Who said we should be frank all the time? Who said we should be speaking directly to the face of people all the time, or even most of the time? As much as possible, we should avoid offending people's emotions by speaking directly to their face. Maybe there are exceptions. For example, if you have tried all diplomatic ways, all the kind ways, all indirect ways, and it has not worked, and this is something very serious, then maybe you need to speak directly. And you should be, of course, prepared for that. It's not that if needed, we don't say anything. No, if needed, we are prepared for that. But that is not the first choice. And that is not for little things or for personal things. For example, I am not very happy with someone's behavior, but it's just personal. It's nothing about his relation with God. It's not something about his taqwa. Just, I am not very happy, for example. Okay, keep it to yourself. If you can manage to mention indirectly, mention. Otherwise, just tolerate this. Don't hurt that person. Don't offend that person. Don't make that person feel, terrible because he has this problem. If it is something manageable. If it's not manageable, try to find a wise way to address this indirectly. If it is something major and serious and there is no way to stop it unless you mention this directly, then you try it. But this is not the first choice. So Imam Zainul Abidin salam asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give him the ability to have tark ta'yir. You remember, we had this وَحَلِّنِي بِحِلْيَةِ الصَّالِحِينَ وَأَلْبِسْنِي زِينَةَ الْمُتَّقِينَ في then كذا وكذا. This is all about أَلْبِسْنِي زِينَةَ الْمُتَّقِينَ. Give me or clothe me in the ornaments or adornment of the pious people in doing these things. So one of them is tark ta'yir, refraining from condemnation or blaming and criticizing unnecessarily. وَالْإِفْضَالِ عَلَى غَيْرِ الْمُسْتَحِقِّ. Here there are two interpretations. Some people have interpreted this by saying وَتَرْكَ التَّعْيِيرِ وَالْإِفْضَالِ means وَتَرْكَ الْإِفْضَالِ. So they have taken this as atf to ta'yir. Means give me this adornment of muttaqeen by not having favor or by not bestowing bounty upon those who don't deserve. So for example, if there is a person who is not a poor person, doesn't need money, I shouldn't give him money. There are, people who are not honest and they beg money or they ask for help. So I don't want to do this. But some people have said, no, this is not atf to ta'yir. It's the same as sabq ila al-fadila, isar al-tafaddul. It means enable me to actually bestow bounty on those who don't deserve. But in this sense, not to those who misuse and take advantage of your kindness and therefore they become more and more dependent. No, in the sense that I would be helping and giving and showing generosity to people not because I owe them. I prefer this interpretation. Of course, Allah knows. a mu'min is generous and kind, he would not only give to the people that they deserve, it means that he owes them. For example, they have worked for me few hours, I have to pay. Or they have visited me, I have to reciprocate. They have been kind to me, I have to reciprocate. So they deserve this treatment from me. I want something more. I want to be able to bestow bounty on those who don't even deserve. Not that they don't need. No, they may need. I think every person needs kind treatment of other people. But it's not that they are misusing this. It's just they don't deserve this. It's not that I owe him. So غير المستحق, you have to interpret in this way, that they don't deserve in the sense that I don't owe them, but still I feel responsible. I feel that I have moral responsibility to help them, to give them, to show generosity to them. والإفضال على غير المستحق والقول بالحق وإن عز. This needs more, inshallah, time. So in order to get more chance for your questions, I think I stop here. So please remember, we should resume next session from here. والقول بالحق وإن عز, inshallah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin.
Allah